Okay, I think we are live. One sec. Hello, everyone. I assume you can all see me and that this is live at the moment. Welcome to Q&A livestream episode 12. That's right, we've got 12 of these things in the bag now. How amazing is that? So, yeah, got a lot of plushies with me today. The collection is growing. Imagine when I have 21 of these sitting behind me. I'm going to have to get a bigger couch. I think, definitely. Is this too loud? I hope not. I hope I don't have it too close to my mouth. So, for everybody that's new, I kind of explain this at the beginning of every live stream. The Q&A live stream is basically our audience or our fans' chance to send us questions they have about Dark Deception or Evil Nun or basically any of the games that we have in development. So it can be, most of the time it's Dark Deception, but now we have a few other options as well, like Monsters, Immortals, Evil Nun. More recently, They Grow, which is our first published title. And we have some things like Ayano's Lovesick Labyrinth. So any question you have, if it's a good question, it may get answered. So we collect questions through our email, and we have members that ask questions, some of our YouTube members. And we also accept super chats. So if your question didn't get selected for email and you just really want to get your question answered, you can support us with super chats and it will get answered. The one question, or the only type of question that I don't answer is one that will spoil upcoming content. So if you ask me, hey, what's the ending of chapter 5? I can't tell you. I'll give you the kind of you'll see response, right? Yeah. You'll see. So hopefully I don't have to say that to any questions. I like giving answers rather than evading them with a you'll see response. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the member questions. Oh man. In case anybody saw it last night, or I don't know what time it was over there in Western time zones, I did a live stream with Makeship where we played the new Silent Hill DLC on Monsters and Mortals, and it was really awesome. And we had some members come in and join us. We had the Doctor, as Jamal likes to refer to him, DC Tsukimitsu, and Ragai contributed to that video. So I just want to say thank you to them for joining in with us. And we were able to give out some cool prizes like Silent Hill DLC keys and gift cards for Makeship to get, I think, $50 worth of whatever plushie they want. They can buy our plushies or they can buy other plushies. It's up to them. So that was really cool. I hope we can do more stuff like that in the future. I think that's kind of a cool collaboration and gives everybody a chance to win some plushies. That's always a good thing, right? So number 1 from the Doctor. Has there been any news regarding U2's or Funko Pop Dark Deception vinyl figures? I'd love to see them on my desk. Yeah, I think both of us would. I've been trying to get U2's and Funko Pop's attention every now and then, but it's really something I just don't have time to kind of like chase after. So I figure when they're ready to make Dark Deception vinyl figures, they'll come to us. That's kind of how it works. That definitely gets sped up by our fans pressuring them. So if you guys are constantly pressuring them, saying, hey, I want a Dark Deception Funko Pop or I want a Dark Deception U2s, then they'll come to us a lot faster because they see the sales potential. So that's more in the power in the hands of our fans. The other thing that motivates them is if they see that our game is, I guess, trending in many ways. So Dark Deception 4 and 5, Chapter 5 and 4 may catch their attention if that spikes Dark Deception's searchability, I guess. We'll see. So question number 2 from Joy Joy Joy. Hi Vince, do you mind telling us how many kinds of work you did these past 2 years? Well, I feel like this is an interview question. MMM, Monsters and Mortals DLC and Nun are separate kinds. Yeah. Well, I mean, our work's out there for everyone to see. We got the Dark Deception chapters out. Chapter 4 has been in progress forever, and we've got our first published game. We have Evil Nun is pretty far along in development, and we've got um, yeah, Monsters and Mortals and a lot of DLC for that. So I think these last 2 years have been pretty busy. I'm sure some of you will agree, some of you won't, but it's out there. Question number 3, Nicosil. Could Crazy Carnival's map and Dan as Immortal be one of the next things coming to Monsters and Mortals? Yes, Crazy Carnival map will be coming to Monsters and Mortals. Probably sometime in April or May, I'd say. Obviously, we have higher priorities to take care of first, being Chapter 4 and Evil Nun, and wrapping up some of our Chapter 5 work, but we definitely want to get Crazy Carnival into Monsters and Mortals. And Dan as a character is also a must, so we will get Dan in as a character. But that's another one of those things that's like, as soon as we have a moment to breathe, that's when we'll get that in, because we have now the YouTuber Creator Pack that's coming in April. That's going to have Dawko and Ape and Ryan and Super Horror Bro. We also have some other DLC coming up, like the Yandere Simulator DLC and Evil Nun. So it's going to be busy. We have to kind of get Dan in whenever we get a moment. But I'm sure we can squeeze that in pretty soon. Question number 4 from Unicat Ninjas. Is it only Lucky chasing you in Zone 3 Factory, or all of them? That is a good question, but also a little bit spoilery. I mean, I think you can assume by Zone 3 that they're all going to be after you. I guess that's not too spoilery. Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. So we'll go with that. Okay, question number 5 from Agatha's Teeth. Okay. Are you going to add DLC-specific power-ups from crate boxes in Monsters and Mortals, or even just more power-ups in general? Yeah, I mean, as we evolve Monsters and Mortals, we'll probably add some new items to the item box. I think the 3 items are gone. I don't think anybody liked triple items, and it's a little bit OP. So we got rid of those. They're probably not coming back, but we can definitely add some new items in. Some could be DLC-specific. At the moment, we didn't really have a need for that, so we didn't do it. But that's not to say that door is closed permanently. We can definitely kind of fit that in as needed if some DLC has like a really unique item that we could add in that would really enhance the gameplay or add something really creative to it. Question number 6 from It's Sight Sun. Is the Chapter 4 trailer still coming out in March? Yes. So, well, yes and no. So the Chapter 4 teaser trailer is actually on the way very soon. Chapter 4 full trailer is probably going to slide into the first week of April. So that's kind of like a new schedule for that. But Chapter 4 teaser 2 will be out very soon. So you guys will get to see a bit more of what's coming. And question number 7 from I Said Seb. Are you planning on adding keybinds or any new settings to Dark Deception? Yeah, I think that's something we've kind of answered before. Things that we're adding to Dark Deception after Chapter 4 goes out. We are going to add a lot of new options to the options menu. Controller support and keybinds were one of them. So those are the 2 big adds, I think. Everyone's been asking for controller support and keybind settings. Or keybinds, so yes. Question number 8 from Squishy Ghastly. What character from the Silent Hill DLC are you having the most fun playing as? For me, I think it's probably Robbie at this point. I know some people really love Sybil. They love the gun. But I've always loved Robbie, so it's really cool to play as Robbie and run around and use his clone army to attack people. For me, I just really enjoy that. Question number 9 from Vinny. Hey, another Vinny. What's your favorite Joy Joy Gang rap? That's a tough one. I really love all 3 of them, but I'm very partial to Hangry's rap. I just like Hangry's character and his style and what he brings to the table. So there's no wrong answer. It's really just a a question of preference. I mean, I could go with any one of them, but if I have to pick one, I'll just go with Hangry. Question 10 from Abram Guy. We know the hospital is torment therapy, but does the hospital have a name in torment therapy? For that one, I would say not really. It's often, it does have some naming, but it's often kind of generic hospital naming that you would see in any hospital. I wouldn't say it has like a specific name like a Silent Hill General Hospital or something. It's all pretty generalized. Question 11 from Lakos. How do you feel about the next generation PlayStation VR? I actually haven't seen too much about the new PSVR. I did see the new haptic controllers, which look almost exactly like the Oculus Rift controllers. So I'm glad that they have a much improved method of controlling the games. It's not just those wands anymore. So I think it's an improvement. I'm really curious, especially since at some point Dark Deception will be in VR. That makes me feel more likely that we could bring it to PSVR. We'll see how it goes. Question number 12 from Spell. Before the release of Chapter 4, are there any plans to let some people experience Chapter 4 in advance, like Silent Hill DLC? Yes, but we have a very limited, very short list about who would get Chapter 4 early. And that would really go out to creators that kind of make the most impact in our community as far as their channel size and their contributions. So yeah, probably a few people will get the chapter early, but that's really about it. And please, I every time I say that, I get a bunch of creators that send me messages like demanding to be on that list. That's not how it works. We will pick that list. If you get a message from us, you're on it. Great. If you're not, don't write us sending us like demanding letters and stuff. That's not how it's done, man. So just got to put that out there because it's been a problem. Question number 13 from Officially Imp. Do you plan to add any new items? Oh, this is kind of related to the other one. Do you plan to add any new items for the portal boxes and monsters and mortals, or will you stick with the items that are already in the game? Yeah, I guess that's kind of a repeat. So yeah, we are going to add items at some point. I mean, we're not going to add items just to add items. We'll kind of think about it and design something that adds something interesting to the gameplay, and we'll put them in once that's ready. But our first priority is just to get all the DLC in. So we're going to get through that first. And as we go, we'll put in new game modes, we'll put in new items. We'll really expand the gameplay and make it a lot more interesting as far as what options you have for gameplay, game modes and stuff like that. So you'll have a lot more options when you start up a match with friends. It'll be cool. Question number 14 from Chunk. Will there be a faster way to switch powers in Chapter 4, like having a scroll wheel which slows down time, or using numbered keys to choose a power? I mean, I think we already have keys mapped to the powers. I could be wrong. And if that's something we don't have, then we can definitely set that up. That would probably be part of the bindings for the keys that we would add to the options. So I think if we just put that in, that will let you do whatever you want as far as how to activate your powers. So yeah, you can set up something that works well for you, that you're comfortable with, because everybody's different. Question number 15 from Akudad. Any plans on adding a volume slider to Monsters and Mortals? Possibly. I can't commit to that, but it's possible. I guess if that's something a lot of people want, we can see if we can make it work. But for now, that's not on the docket, but we can definitely keep an eye on it and see if that's something everyone would like to see. Question number 16 from God of Seals. Is it true that you are working on Chapter 4 and 5 at the same time? And it seems to me that you said that if there was still a delay, January to March, Chapter 5 could almost be released at the same time. No, we are not going to release Chapter 4 and 5 at the same time, because that would make you guys wait even longer, and people are tired of waiting. So we're going to do them separately. Chapter 5 is pretty big too. And yes, Chapter 4 and 5 are in development at the same time. We already have a significant chunk of Chapter 5 done. So Chapter 5's wait will be much shorter than Chapter 4. Um, Significantly shorter, but they are not going to come out at the same time. Let's see. Question number 17 from Kelly Newby. Among many animals, why the rabbit, the pig, and the chicken for the Joy Joy gang? Choice of animals. Oh, did we answer that before? I feel like I got that question in a previous live stream. Maybe I did, and maybe it was something similar. The choice of the rabbit, the pig, and the chicken was just because I was looking for common animals that people kind of see a lot. They're very common. I just felt like that would be more interesting, and that's kind of what you see in the parks anyway. Like the real theme parks, it's always kind of very commonplace animals, usually related to the farm or I guess residential areas like mice and dogs and cats, or chicken, pig, and um, rabbits. I just felt like those animals were more interesting than doing like the dog and cat and mice. So that may not seem like too exciting of a reason, but that's it. That's pretty much what the motivation was. Question number 18 from Reaper of Darkness. One second. It is the South Pacific here. It is getting a little warm in this room. Gotta get my air. Okay. Reaper of Darkness, number 18. What was it like to work with the Silent Hill team? Well, we didn't work directly with the Silent Hill team. We mostly worked with I mostly worked with their leadership. So, Silent Hill executives, producers, and some more of their kind of business side team. The actual development team, I don't even know if they still have an internal development team. Seems like they're licensing out all of their property now. So they're not going to have like Team Silence, not really there anymore. But it was really cool working with Konami. I think Konami has a bad rap from, I guess, some of the things that happened the past 5 years. But it's definitely going in a different direction now. And I think they're kind of getting back to what made them famous to begin with. So I really wish fans would stop kind of attacking them. I think that's kind of the whole cancel culture thing. Like if it's cool to attack somebody, many people will just for that reason alone. So there's still a group that thinks it's cool to attack Konami, and that's just kind of lame. I don't know how people think that way, but Konami is an awesome studio, and for 20 years, they made most of the awesome games that I grew up with, like Metal Gear, Castlevania, Silent Hill. Yeah, we all want new games in those franchises, but it takes time. I'm not gonna like send them hate mail every day because there's not a new Silent Hill game out. Question number 19 from Artemy. Will we have a monster YouTuber DLC pack? I think Dogtrap fits more to the monster team than Mortal. Actually, I've had a couple people say that to me, and I know Dogtrap is evil in the sense that it's Glitch Trap possessed Dawko. But technically, we're not allowed to use that since that's a Five Nights at Freddy's reference, and we don't have that license. So Dawko's character in Monsters and Mortals will be a bit different since there can't be any relation to the kind of Glitch Trap background. So we're going to make a special version of it that fits in Monsters and Mortals and doesn't cause us any legal issues. So it's possible we could do a YouTuber monster at some point, but I think just in my own opinion, I want to keep anything we do like that with creators, I want to keep it on the Mortal side because I feel like the monsters should be the characters on the monster side should be well-known monsters, characters that have really become famous and contributed to horror as monsters. And that's kind of what their reputation is. They were designed for that. They've added something to the horror genre in that area. They've kind of earned their spot on the monster side. So I don't know if I take a YouTuber who has like an OC and throw him in with it because he has a popular channel, that kind of cheapens that a little bit. So I feel like the Mortals should stay on the Mortal side. That's just my opinion, and we'll see how it goes. If there's an OC character that really has contributed to horror and fits that description that I just gave, that kind of rule, then I would definitely put them on the monster side. So we'll see. We'll see if anything pops up like that. Question number 20 from Smack and Pie. Any updates on Ayano's Lovesick Labyrinth? Yeah, so I've mentioned this before. Somebody asked that in a previous live stream, and what I said was that it's on pause. So that's kind of shelved for the moment while we finish some up our obviously higher priority projects. But we are working on the Yandere Simulator DLC for Monsters and Mortals that is based on that. So in that sense, it is moving forward, and that may be the next DLC that comes to Monsters and Mortals. We're kind of working out our schedule. We do have one of the items that I was actually going to announce in March was the new DLC for Monsters and Mortals. And many people thought that when we announced the YouTube Creator Pack, that's what I was referring to, but it's actually not. There's actually another DLC that's AAA that is coming to Monsters and Mortals, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to announce it yet. Same situation as with Silent Hill. It's in the hands of lawyers right now, and they have not given me the green light to announce it. So that's probably going to slide into April as well. Once they give me the go-ahead and say it's okay, I will announce that. So YouTube, or April is going to be a busy month for Monsters and Mortals. We got the Creator Pack dropping, and I'm almost 100% confident that the legal side's going to get through it for the DLC, and I'll be able to announce that in April. Hopefully early April. We'll see how that goes. And then from there, once you guys know what that is, it's either going to be that or it's going to be the Yandere Simulator DLC coming to Monsters and Mortals next. All right, question number 21 from Clayman742. Whose jump scare is the most brutal in Chapter 4, in your opinion? In my opinion, they're all brutal. I don't want to promote any of the jump scares over the others. They are all pretty brutal. Any particularly brutal one? I guess I like the one where Hangry eats you. That one's pretty good. It kind of goes with him. I'll just go with that one for now. Ask me again after Chapter 4 is out. I can be more honest. Question number... Sorry, where was I? Okay, question number 22 from Dasher MC. Why did the Chris Pinkston interview Meet the Team video never happen? I'm not sure if I've been asked that before, but the reason it never happened is just we both got too busy. So Chris Pinkston has a very busy schedule. He runs his own sound studio in LA. He also volunteers as a emergency medical during the pandemic, which is super admirable. That's a very dangerous thing to do. So he's out there in ambulances helping, and that's just his kind of side project. He's just pitching in because he wants to. And then we are very busy with what we do, so it just kind of never was able to sync up the two schedules. And I think we could do that at some point, but obviously we want to take care of the bigger ticket items first. So it's kind of paused but not forgotten. We'll get to that eventually. Question number 23 from Bonnie Bunny 56. Hey Vince, this might be a weird question. Ooh, okay. But me and some people want to know, will you, Nixon, and Pinpin make plushies of yourself? Oh, plushies, okay. Maybe. I guess if a lot of people wanted that, like obviously if 200 people wanted that, then I would make it because that's the requirement for all makeshift plushies now. It used to be 400, now it's 200. I guess that makes it a little bit more plausible to do. We'll see. I mean, if you guys, I may put up a poll, and if 200 people seriously want that, then I will do it, because why not? It actually doesn't take that long to put the to get the plushies designed out and put into the store. It takes a couple months of work, so it's not too bad. So yeah, it's on the table. We'll see how it goes. Question number 24 from XplexMex. Do you think that... Let me say this. Do you think for the Chapter 4 level maps and Monsters and Mortals, that for one of the levels, Barely Buried, Mascot Mayhem, or Torment Therapy, the community could vote the zone to be added? Okay, my brain did not read through that very well for some reason. So basically he's asking, when we put in the new Chapter 4 levels, will we allow the fans to vote for which zone we use for one of them? Um, I may put up a poll. I could do something like that if there's one that fans felt strongly about a zone that I wasn't considering. But I think for the most part, I think I will probably pick the one that fans like the most because I think it's kind of a clear favorite for each of those levels. I could be wrong. Maybe fans will go for one of the zones that I'm not expecting them to like as much. I'll kind of get a sense of what the community's feeling at that time after Chapter 4 is out. Question 25 from DC Sukimitsu. Are you going to make any more Dev Coffee Break videos for the Glowstick Entertainment channel in the future? Yeah, I'd love to. The only problem is that I have to get other people onto that and to do the interview. So like I did with Team Junkfish, we had the little interview and we did the gameplay session. Team Junkfish is always cool and down for that kind of stuff. Other people that I've tried to get on have been a little bit more hesitant. I think it'd be really interesting if I got Yandere Dev on if we're doing the Yandere Simulator stuff. I think a lot of fans would be interested in that. Hopefully it wouldn't be for any toxic reasons. And then I tried to get Konami, but they're very businesslike, so that didn't work out. I'm trying to think. Evil Nun team, they're Spanish. They're from Spain, so there's kind of like the language barrier for that. I don't know. I'd kind of have to take it case by case and see which one would work and who would be willing to do it. We'll see. I mean, obviously, I have to respect their wishes, so I'm not going to force anyone to do a coffee break video. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun anyway. We'll see how it goes as we kind of work with different people. Maybe the Coma guys would be down for that. They're pretty cool. Okay, question number 26. Angelo, who are the voices of the Silent Hill DLC characters, both monsters and mortals? Oh, good question. So, Heather and Sybil are both voiced by Natasha Lloyd. For those of you who don't know Natasha Lloyd, she's a voice actress from LA, a voice actor, and I think one of the things she's best known for is the Wendy rap, or the fast food rap on Epic Rap Battles. She was Wendy. But she's done a lot of other stuff. She's actually a really talented rap musician too. She does her own raps under the name Goldilocks. So you can check her out. The others, Robbie and the nurse. Actually, the nurse is a combination of sound design and also Natasha Lloyd doing voices for that as well. She did kind of the gasps and moans. Those were all done by Natasha. And Robbie the Rabbit is just purely digital. It's just all sound design. So there's no voice actor for that. Question number 27, Wesley G. Oh, and then it's the same thing for Pyramid Head, Red Pyramid thing. He's also all sound design. Question number 27, Wesley G. Is Chapter 4 still coming in March? A lot of people are saying that it's getting delayed to early April. Well, if the trailer is coming in April, it's a good bet that Chapter 4 is also sliding into April. So yeah, it's coming in April. Question number 28 from Thingy-Majig. Do you think you will ever consider giving the Titan Watcher his own theme? No, not at this point. We're probably just going to leave it as it is. I think it fits pretty well. I know some people, after hearing the Pizza Monkeys, the Pizza Time and the ABC song, they want something crazy like that, but we already kind of have a fit for that, so we're kind of moving on, finishing up the other DLC. So that is it for our member questions. Now I'm going to do Super Chats. So let me see if we have any. I think we do. 1 second. And we do. All right, so we have $5 from Isaac Smith. Thank you, Isaac. When we get to future Dark Deception games, will you be doing completely new monsters, or will we see monsters return from this game? I think it'll be a combination of both. We definitely, I mean, at least when I design things, I would definitely want to honor the first game, but not rely on it too much. So you might see some familiar faces in the Dark Deception sequel, but I will definitely want to push out new characters, a new storyline, and really try new things. So I already have kind of Dark Deception 2 in being designed out, and it's a much bigger game than Dark Deception 1, so you'll see a lot of new things. Carmaniac plays threw in $5 too. Thank you, Carmaniac. Disregarding the real life part of it, how do characters end up in the Monsters and Mortals Dimension universe? Well, for Monsters and Mortals, we don't really have a background story like Dead by Daylight has with the entity. So we wanted it just to be pure fun, kind of like a party game in the vein of Nintendo games like Mario Party and Mario Kart. So we wanted to focus less on lore, and actually that less focus on lore is what has opened up a lot of these other companies to working with us. Is that if we had lore, they would be less willing to work with us because they'd be afraid that our lore would confuse their fan base and change their lore. So the fact that we are devoid of lore actually improves our chances of getting some of these other IP to work with us. I could explain it. There actually is an explanation for why they are in that universe, but it would spoil some parts of Chapter 4, so I can't say it. Hyper Orange threw in 5 also. Thank you, Hyper Orange. Will Lucky also be able to break through speed barriers when he uses his speed boost? That is a good assumption. Alex could, too, threw in 29 rubles, but he's just making a donation, so thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Comaniac Plays threw in a second 5. Well, that's 10. Thank you very much. Is a community workshop where content creators can make skins for Monsters and Mortals on the table? That's something we can definitely consider. I think once we have Monsters and Mortals to a better place where it's more kind of content complete, then we can start to look at how we can get fans more involved and allow the community to pitch in. Obviously, I'd have to have somebody in place to kind of moderate that and make sure people aren't slipping in kind of inappropriate stuff. We do have to keep our game friendly for everybody, but I think that's something we could definitely look into and give it a chance. UBF13 threw in $2. Thank you, UBF. Will the Chapter 4 trailer be a premiere? Of course. Got to do a premiere. You guys have waited so long for that. It's got to be a premiere. Blood 1 through 9, 7 Violet. Will the hospital... Oh, it's threw in $5. Thank you, Blood. Like a frequent contributor. I appreciate that. Will the hospital have an outside or parking lot area? There is an outside area, yes. Victor the Demon Devil threw in £5. Thank you, Victor. And I think that's just a donation, so thank you again very much. Rooney Nico threw in £2. I think he threw this in before I answered it, but he asked who voiced Heather and Sybil. For anyone that just popped in and missed that, it was Natasha Lloyd from Epic Rap Battles and many other things. You can check her out in IMDb. She's fantastic. She's also an awesome person and actor. So definitely give her a look. It was fun to work with her, and we'll probably work with her again in the future. Alex Could threw in 3 more times. 29, 29, 29. 3 more contributions of 81 rubles. Thank you, Alex. And Hyper Orange threw in another $2. Thank you, Hyper Orange. And he asked, will Hangry also be able to break through walls? Hangry breaks through everything. It's just his thing. Victor the Demon Devil threw in £5. Thank you, Victor. How is Evil Nun doing, by the way? Evil Nun is doing amazing. And you're probably going to see a lot more of it. If not in April, probably by May. You'll start to see some new gameplay popping up. So, more on that very soon. It's going to be an exciting next 2 months, I think. If everything goes according to plan, yeah, April's going to be fantastic. And then after that, it's going to be the Evil Nun show. So, cool things are coming very soon. Nix the Fox threw in 5. Thank you, Nix. How are you doing, Vince? Hope your team is doing good. Well, I'm doing good so far. Team's doing great. All of our affected team members affected by COVID have recovered now, so we're doing much better now. We're in a better spot. Silent Hill's out. We just got to wrap up and get Chapter 4 out, and then we can all start to sleep a little bit, which will be great. Alex Could, another 29 rubles. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You're awesome. That's like 5 contributions. Jackotrap Studios threw in 2. Is Chapter 4 coming in April, or is it another DLC? Maybe, but probably both. Roxas, 13 keys, threw in $2. Thank you, Roxas. Is They Grow considered for Monsters and Mortals? Maybe, but we'd have to make it, I guess, a little bit more friendly for all ages. Obviously, They Grow is going to be a very gory game, even though it's 2D and it's sprites and pixels. It is going to be very graphic. So you saw, like, we have a lot of thing-like transformations where there's like body and corpse mutilation. So I don't know if we can just take that and slap it into Monsters and Mortals. But if it's popular and it does really well, we could definitely kind of do a more PG version of it to bring into Monsters and Mortals. We'll see what we can do with that. Tyler S. Dash threw in $2. Thank you, Tyler. How's Chapter 5 going? No specific percentage. Chapter 5 is going, yes. It is already pretty far along, I'll put it that way. There is a lot of stuff I could show you, but I won't, because I'm saving it for after Chapter 4. So you'll see things. Once Chapter 4 is out, then I'll start sharing some of the Chapter 5 stuff. Blood Violet threw in another $2. Among Chapter 4 levels, which is most surreal? Most surreal. I know we had Crazy Carnival, which was very surreal. Chapter... Probably Mama Bear's level is the most surreal out of the 3. So Jonas Fisher threw in £2. Thank you, Jonas. Will there be a Monstrum 2 DLC for Monsters and Mortals? Maybe eventually. It's not on the table at the moment, but if it does really well, we can always put it on the table. Right now we have a long list of DLC to get through first, so we'd have to get through those first, and then we'd probably look at Monstrum 2 DLC for Monsters and Mortals. Jacob Gredsberg, JG Network, threw in NOK 20. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it. Still waiting for Reaper Nurse plush. Happy Easter. Well, I've got my Reaper Nurse plushie. Is it over here? Yeah, it's over here. I think they're going to be shipping out pretty soon. It's been a little while since the Reaper Nurse campaign. I think that was, what, in February? Yeah, February. So probably next month. I think they've been a lot faster on getting the plushies out. They've improved their pipeline, so I think probably I would bet on sometime in April or early May they'll be going out. Let's see. Agatha, nope. Hyper Orange threw in 5. Thank you, Hyper Orange. That's like 4 contributions. I appreciate it. Why is Nurse level named Torment Therapy? Is it related to therapy? Yeah. There's definitely a relation to therapy in the level that you'll find out about once Chapter 4 is out. Isaac Smith threw in $2. Will we see a Joy Kill rap? Probably not. I think we're done with the raps for the Joy Joy gang. If we do any raps in the future, maybe it'll be for Chapter 5, or some of the other Chapter 4 characters that we didn't do yet, like Mama Bear or the Reaper Nurses. No, it won't be, because we'd have to get Terra Strong, and that's impossible. So, probably Chapter 5, maybe Chapter 5 characters. Blood Violet threw in another 5. Thank you, Blood Violet. We know that Lucky represents sadistic ego, Hangry represents gluttony. What does Penny represent? So I guess you could say unrequited love or crazy love. I guess a lot of people have called her a yandere character. That's kind of accurate to a degree. She's complex. I couldn't nail her down to one description. I'll let you guys kind of form your own opinion about that. I don't want to kind of plant a description in your head before you actually play it and see what she does. Real Hangry the Pig threw in $1.99. Thank you. What if 2014 Dark Deception never failed? Have a joyful day. I think that would be a bad thing if 2014 Dark Deception never failed, because I wouldn't say it didn't fail because it got a lot of attention, and it's the reason that we were able to make 2018 Dark Deception. But let's say it never stopped. The production on that never stopped, and we actually finished it and put it out. I think it would have been a very inferior product to what we have out now, which would not have been a good thing because we would have moved on maybe to a different game, and that would have been it for Dark Deception. Obviously, over the years, we learned a lot of lessons, and we improved the game a lot, and I think that the failure to complete the Dark Deception from 2014 was a good thing. Doctor threw in $5. Thank you, Doctor. Hey, Vince, I asked that question because Baldi's Basics got a U2s, and so I believe a Dark Deception U2s is highly possible. The fans can DM on Twitter. Well, that's news to me. I didn't know Baldi got a U2s, so if Baldi's getting a U2s, then it's very possible that Dark Deception can get a U2s, figure because Dark Deception's popular. So I think it's just a matter of time. But yeah, if you guys want to speed it up, definitely go pester the crap out of those companies, U2s and Funko. That would definitely make them pay attention a bit more. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99. Will you reveal the Chapter 5 name and levels? Yes, once we're to Chapter 5 and Chapter 4 is out, then I will start to talk about Chapter 5. And at some point I will tell the level names and kind of give a glimpse at them, unless it's something that I want to keep secret. So yeah, it's coming. Kelly Newbie threw in $2 Canadian. Thank you, Kelly. Please don't remove Monsters and Mortals World Play. Keep World Play. I think I ran that poll just because I wanted to get kind of the community's feeling on that. It's not guaranteeing that I'm going to remove it, and I think the no's won anyway. But it was very close, and it was pretty much 50-50. It wound up being 52-48, but in my book, that's essentially 50-50. It's pretty even split of weighing the benefit versus the harm that World Play is causing at the moment, because a lot of people don't understand it, and they don't understand peer-to-peer. But I think for the moment, we're going to keep it. We're just going to look into ways we can improve it in the long run. But it does still serve a purpose. Some people enjoy it still. Well, 50% of people polled enjoy it, so we're going to leave it in. So no worries about that, Kelly. It's not going anywhere for the moment. Traxum 122 threw in $5. Thank you. What about a DLC with bonus chapters? What about a DLC with bonus chapters? Oh, I think you mean for the regular game, Dark Deception. When Dark Deception is done, I think it's done. We're just going to move on to the sequel. I don't think I'm going to add like a DLC onto Dark Deception. But, don't quote me on that. It's possible we could do it if there's enough demand and it fits and there's something I feel like I could add to the story with it. Maybe if later on I realize there's some question I left unanswered that a DLC could solve. But for now, at the moment, I think we'll be pretty good just with the 5 chapters. We'll see. Unicat Ninjas threw in $5. Follow up. Did you see my luck runs out first verse of Bad Rabbit choreo? Last 2 should be out today. Full video with special effects next week. I promised. I think I did see your video on Instagram. You can just tag us, or I'm not sure if you tagged me or Glowstick. Just tag it and I'll eventually see it. I kind of check it every day. So no worries. Sir55 threw in $2. Thank you very much. Rooney, and that was just a donation. He didn't ask any questions. So thank you for the donation. Rooney Nico threw in £5. Thank you, Rooney Nico. That's multiple today. Smack and Pie said that he feels that Chapter 3 felt rushed. What is your opinion on that? Chapter 3 was rushed out at the end. We didn't have a lot of time for testing. Kind of the same situation. It took about 5 months, and fans were getting impatient, and we kind of bowed to that pressure a little bit and put it out faster than I wanted to. And look at the result. One of the levels didn't even play. It skipped for a lot of people, and there were a lot of other bugs. I mean, we eventually fixed it, but I think when you kind of give in to fan pressure and rush something out, that's what happens. So that's why with Chapter 4, I've been very patient, no matter how many tantrums come my way every day or death threats. It doesn't matter. The game's going to go out when it's done, not when fans demand it. So I know waiting sucks, but playing a game that's broken after such a long wait sucks. So that's why I'm going to take as long as is needed to get the game done. You know, if that falls into your expectation of when you want it, then awesome. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. Just kind of, we all got to kind of deal with it. Rooney Nico. I'm sorry, no, we already got that one. No name from Twitter. Threw in 100 rubles. Thank you. No name. Is Bierce a Helen's maiden name? Sorry, I think. Oh, is Bierce Helen's maiden name? In that case, what is Edgar's surname? Bierce's maiden name. Yes, Bierce was always kind of Helen maiden last name. Yes, her name is Helen Bierce. Bierce is her last name. Sorry, I don't know why I was like interpreting that wrong. Edgar's surname hasn't really been discussed yet. It's something I think we've written in, but I just don't remember what it is. So I can't even tell you at the moment, since he's kind of like a minor background character at this point. Sir55 threw in $2. Thank you very much. Membership won't go through. Take my money. Oh, that's unfortunate. I hope it goes through for you at some point. I don't know why it's causing that. Maybe the payment processing, but I hope you get through. I hope you join the server and jump in the chat with us. It'll be fun. Fernando Miller threw in $5. Thank you, Fernando. Will Monsters and Mortals ever come to consoles? For now, we're focusing on PC, so it's going to be cross-play between Steam and eventually Epic Game Store. So we're in the process of porting it to Epic Game Store and allowing it to work with Steam. That's a process that we have to kind of get through. And then after that, we will look at if it's something we can bring to consoles, if there's enough interest. That will largely depend on how the game performs, over the next 2 quarters, I think. We'll make that decision after that. Once we've brought in all the AAA DLC and a couple of the other indie DLC, we'll see how much the audience has grown and how much demand there is for it on consoles. And if there's a lot, then we'll definitely bring it to consoles. Just because that is an expensive process and it's something we really have to be sure will work if we're going to do it. From the Doctor. Threw in $2. Thank you. Is the Malik plushie the biggest? Sleep prevents. Thanks. Is he the biggest? He's definitely the tallest. I don't know if I'd say he's the biggest. Probably Bierce's head is the biggest, I think. She's got a pretty big head. It's comparable to the nurse. We're going to have to do a head competition with the two of them at some point to see who has the biggest head. The Malik and his horns are definitely the tallest. Okay, so Thomas Flores. Wow, $10. Thank you, Thomas. Hey, Vince, question. How come Smack and Pie is not part of the YouTuber DLC pack? Since I only saw the names Docko, 8-Bit Ryan, and Super Horror Bro. Well, our creator DLC pack is targeting the UK creators. I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe Smack and Pie lives in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But also, we had to limit it to 3. We don't want to put in like too big of a DLC pack and put too many creators into the game because we're not sure if we're going to do a second one, or we may go a different direction, like a pack that's indie game developers or something else. So for this one, we just wanted to do 3. That's like a good solid number, and we can see how much interest there is in the YouTube creator pack. And if it does really well, then we'll look at other creators that can be added to the game. We might do a US creator pack that has somebody like Smack and Pie or Corey X Kenshin or Dashi or somebody like that. Obviously, we prefer to use creators that actually care about Monsters and Mortals and make videos and play it a lot. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. So we'll see which ones qualify for that. We'll kind of evaluate it. Hyper Orange threw in $2. Again, thank you, Hyper Orange. Team Godzilla or Team Kong? Oh, man. Godzilla is a beast, but I like Team Kong. I was Team Kong from the start, even though I really liked Godzilla. I mean, how do you pick between the two? That's a great movie. You haven't watched it yet. And if you enjoyed the first two, it's got the human parts, which kind of slow things down, but the creature fights are just amazing. Go see it. It's if you can go to the theater where you live, if you're not on COVID lockdown, I hope they have it, like on one of those pay channels like HBO Max or something, or Disney Plus or whatever. Whoever has the rights to that to stream it, I hope they put it up there as a pay-per-view option. I was able to see it in the theater, thankfully, because Taiwan doesn't have the lockdown, and that was awesome. But I know a lot of you can't, so I hope they have options. I'm sure they will. Let's see, we have, whoops, it jumped. 1 second. Where did it go? Wow, that was a big jump. Wonder why. Okay, here we go. JM Death Punch Gaming threw in $2. Thank you, JM Death Punch. Intending to post Chapter 4 a week later or after Chapter 4 trailer. I think at this point, I think my stance after the death threats was I am not committing to any length of time because it just gives those really, the fans that cross the line, it gives them an excuse to start that up again. So from now on, I will tell you just vaguely it's coming, it's coming. And you will have a sense that it's coming because I will start dropping trailers and stuff, but I'm not going to commit to, oh, it's coming 7 days after the trailer or 3 days or 2 days. I know that sucks, but that's kind of what I've been forced into by the fans that just don't know how to act. So, unfortunately, that's a very small group, but they are something that I have to deal with, and they come into our channel and cause problems. I have to deal with them, and it's annoying because when I have to deal with them, it takes me away from my work. So if I have to sit there blocking some kid in wherever sending me a death threat about my family, that's time away from developing the game, which is just a waste of time. So I'm not going to worry about the time. When it's ready, I will let you know 100% it's ready. If I haven't dropped a delivery date, it's because it's not 100% ready. So just kind of go with that and know that, the game is coming out. It's we're not gonna not deliver the game. Some fans act that way. But yeah, it's coming soon. Chapter 4 teaser trailer will be out. Number 2 will be out in the next few days, before the end of March, as promised. Let me see. Dread Ducky. I'm sorry, I skipped one. District D threw in 100 rubles. Thank you, District. Will there be YouTubers and Monsters and Mortals future DLC who speak not only English, Russian, Chinese, etc.? Yeah, we kind of already tried to do that with the Monstrum DLC with Prisoner Borisov, but I couldn't get. It's very complex with the voice actor side because Monsters and Mortals is a union project in the US. So there's a lot of rules around which voice actors we can hire. So in order to use a native Russian speaker for Prisoner Borisov, which is what I wanted to do, we have to get one that works with the Screen Actors Guild union. And sometimes in the amount of time we have to get the DLC out, that's really hard to do. So it would be the same thing if we did a Chinese speaking character or a Spanish speaking character, any language. We'd have to work that out with the Screen Actors Guild, which is always kind of a headache. I think we can definitely do it at some point, and I think it would add a lot of it would make the game feel a lot more authentic if everyone doesn't speak English. But I'm going to have to figure out how to do that because it's not an easy process. Let's see. That's a good question. Dread Ducky 102 threw in $5. Thank you, Dread Ducky. What's the net makeshift plush? I think he meant next. Typo. What's the next makeshift plush? I hope it's Trigger Teddy. And can Lucky Speed Boost destroy Speed Boost walls? And can it's like three questions merged into one. I love how you take totally utilize the amount of space you have. Can Reaper Nurse plush needle come off? Okay, so let's start with question number 1. What is the next makeshift plushie? The next makeshift plushie, I'm not sure, actually. I think it's the Murder Monkey, but it might be the Gold Watcher. Makeshift has our lineup for 2021. I already posted that, but they are kind of like going through them one by one, and things kind of change sometimes. Like Beerus and Malik were supposed to come out in February, but they switched it to the Reaper Nurse. I think it's the Murder Monkey, but it could be switched to the Gold Watcher or Agatha. So I kind of find out at the last second too. So I can't answer that now, but as soon as I know, I'll definitely share it with everybody. Question number 2. Can Lucky Speed Boost destroy? Oh, we already answered that one. I didn't want to like clearly answer it, but I would assume that's a safe bet that he can speed boost through barriers. And the last one, Reaper Nurse Plush Needle come off. It's on there, it's sewn on or glued on or something. I mean, you could rip it off if you wanted to. I wouldn't advise that. It's destroying your plushie. But if you want it to be separated, you could probably, with a little bit of effort, take care of that yourself. But I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that because it may damage the hand. Let me see. Blood Violet threw in $2. Thank you, Blood Violet. Do trigger teddies crawl like babies or walk? Maybe all of the above? You'll see soon. Unicat Ninjas threw in $2 more. Thank you, Unicat. Lucky can't catch you if you run in zigzag. Lucky can always catch you. You can try to, simplify your way out of his line of, out of his direct path of running, but I can't guarantee you it's going to work. He's actually very agile. Oh boy, this one's long. Oprutunepuma, gaming and stuff. Sorry if I butchered that. Threw in £2. Thank you very much. What is the power for Barely Buried? Barely Buried is a special situation where you'll see. Can't reveal it because it's a special scenario. That's all I can say. Vanderlee through 5974X threw in 5 reals. Thank you, Vanderlee. What fan games have you heard of most? Have you heard of D.D. Gregory Horror Show, Fazbear Deception, etc.? Which ones do you like most and recognize most? I've heard of a lot of Dark Deception fan games, but actually I haven't seen many of them actually finish the game. So that's been kind of a bummer for me, as I see a lot of these fan games that look really cool, but they never get finished. So I think the ones that stand out to me the most that were actually finished and played by the community, including our other creators, were Fan Reaper's games. He did his own version of Torment Therapy and Mascot Mayhem. I think those were excellent. Definitely Fazbear Deception. It was in progress, but he had a complete playable game. I saw some other ones that I thought showed promise, like 2 Deception and Dread Ducky's Quest and a couple others that kind of popped up. They were 2D games, but they never got finished. So I can't really give those a shout out because they didn't finish the job. I think another one I saw recently pop up was a Dark Deception Minecraft game, or it's a Dark Deception mod in Minecraft. And it looked really cool, so I'll give that one a shout out too because they actually finished something. So if it's cool and you get it done, our community can enjoy it, and that's a big plus for the Dark Deception community. So I think those are the games that I will always kind of give a shout out to. I haven't seen D.D. Gregory Horror Show. If that's actually finished, I'd check it out. Always looking for good Dark Deception fan games. Gabriel threw in $1.99. Thank you, Gabriel. Will Dark Deception be a ride in Universal Studios? Maybe someday, if it's that popular. I don't think that can happen until something even more popular like Five Nights at Freddy's gets a ride. I think if something like Five Nights at Freddy's got a ride, like a 3D ride, then that would open the door for anything. Because, Universal has their Halloween Horror Nights. They're always looking for horror stuff. It would probably work. Freddy Fazbear threw in $5. Can you give us a description of what Joy Kill will look like? No, I can't. You'll see. It's going to be a little bit longer on that, but I know You guys are going to like it. UBF13 threw in $3. Will we see a no context hospital teaser? Um, maybe? Looking at the calendar, maybe. We'll see. But thank you for the $3. I appreciate it. Comaniac Plays threw in $5. Thank you again. That's like 3 or 4, I think. Appreciate it. What do the symbols circling around the portal stand for? They are mostly just runic symbols that relate to, well, in our sense, kind of like dark magic. It's like it doesn't actually, if you try to translate it, you're going to get very confused because it was originally made back in 2014 and it was a mix of different cultural runic symbols. I think there's even Nordic symbols in there. So I'm pretty sure if anyone wants to translate that, I'm really interested to know what it actually says because Dark Deception was meant to be a mobile game in the beginning, so there wasn't a lot of thought put into what those symbols actually meant when we made it. I think later on we're going to kind of revise that a little bit, but we're still kind of using that old art. So I'm actually interested to see if it's complete gibberish or if it actually says something disturbing unintentionally. If anybody wants to jump on that and decode it, go for it. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99. What happened to the matron's feet? Well, at some point, something bad happened. She's missing them. Maybe it was her own choice. She just really liked those wheels and her feet were in the way. She had a balancing issue. I don't know. You have to ask her when you meet her in chapter 4, right? You'll see. Blood Violet, $2. Thank you, Blood Violet, again. Any chapter 4 bosses stalk you in the level like Doom Ducky? Yeah, there's a couple bosses that stalk you. Pretty relentlessly. You'll see when you get to play, it'll be fun. Jacko Trap Studios, $2. Thank you, Jacko Trap. Will chapter 5 have 4 levels? Let me see. 1, 2. Is it 4? Yeah, I think 4 levels, yeah. 4 levels, maybe more. I'll go with 4 levels for now. Yes, that's a safe bet. Stick with 4 levels. Hyper Orange threw in $3.99. Thank you, Hyper Orange, again. Will you reveal at least one mannequin model after chapter 4? Yeah, I mean, usually I'll show the characters after a period of time when we're ready. So yeah, I'm going to reveal the mannequins at some point. It's just, obviously, I'm not going to reveal anything from chapter 5 when we don't even have chapter 4 out yet. That's like spoiling the chapter ahead before the chapter before it even is out on the market. Jonas Fisher threw in £2. Sorry. Thank you, Jonas. That's twice from you. I appreciate it. Will there be a ranged monster like Cybele Bennett? Eventually, yes. I can't promise it's chapter 4, but yeah. Jorgen Dahl threw in NOK 55. Thank you, Jorgen. Are there any IPs that you personally want to add and don't want to add as DLC in Monsters Immortals? I think the IP I would love to add if we could get it would be Resident Evil, of course. Now that we've had Silent Hill, I would love to see something like Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4 as a DLC in Dark Deception. That would be amazing. Then you could have Pyramid Head versus Mr. X. That'd be awesome. How could you not want that? As far as any DLC I don't want, I don't think there's anything I would ever just say I don't want it. I guess anything that doesn't fit with the theme, it's not horror. But I'm not going to specifically say, like, this thing doesn't deserve to be in Monsters Immortals. That's just not my MO. Dusker Dude, 97, threw in €10. Thank you, Dusker Dude. I was wondering what next games could cross over with Monsters Immortals. Bendy is still pending. And what you think about Dungeon Nightmares. Dungeon Nightmares was pretty cool. I don't remember it too well, though. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. There was a VR game that was like I think Dungeon Nightmares was based on it. Um, I forgot the name of it. But I don't know if it had characters, did it? It's been a long time since I saw Dungeon Nightmares, so I don't know if it would need really strong characters to get into Monsters and Mortals because we want things that have really interesting characters. So if it's just a map, then probably not. Obviously, Bendy has very strong characters. So I'm sure some of you saw the exchanges on Twitter. I have talked to them neatly. I'm not going to confirm or deny Bendy at this point. I would just say it's on the table. It is being discussed, but it's not something that's confirmed for Monsters and Mortals at this time. Jacko Trap Studios threw in $2. Thank you, Jacko Trap. Again, multiple contributions this stream. Will we see the mannequins model after beating Chapter 4? Okay, you got the same thought as the previous question. So yeah, once we get Chapter 4 out and we're kind of into Chapter 5, then definitely we'll start to share the Chapter 5 enemies at some point. Kayla threw in $5. Thank you, Kayla. Are you going to add more characters and monster mortals from other horror games? Yes. So, just going down the list, I mean, we have Evil Nun, we have Yandere Simulator, we have the DLC in April that I can't mention yet, and we have the Coma 2, which is awesome, and we have other potentials that we are talking to who I can't announce yet. So we've got a lot of other DLC and characters coming to Monster Mortals. I think enough to keep us busy all the way till the end of 2021. The lineup's pretty much set. So we'll try to probably every month or two get a DLC in and just keep expanding that roster. I think by the end of 2021 that roster is going to be pretty full. In fact, I'm going to have to figure out how to expand it into 2022. We'll see. I mean, as long as you guys keep supporting the game and coming out and playing it and getting the DLC, we can keep expanding it because that's what these other companies look at. Does the game have support? If its support is there, we can get anybody. So it's really in our fan base's hands. Let me see. G-Man Luigi threw in $5. Thank you, G-Man. Hey, Vance, will Dark Deception or any other games have a VR mode in the future? Well, I can't speak for the other games, but definitely Dark Deception. Dark Deception, as soon as we get it done on PC, all 5 chapters, and it's out on consoles and someday mobile, then we're going to turn our attention to VR. And that may even be something we outsource to a studio that has a lot more time than us, since it's just porting it to VR. We could hire another studio to help us out with that and get it out faster. But definitely, Dark Deception was originally conceived as a VR game. In 2014, that's what it was. It was a Oculus Rift VR game. And it works really well as long as you're not one of the people that get kind of dizzy and nauseous from VR. I think now with the controller options that they have with the haptic controllers, it should be a lot more comfortable. It's definitely a seated VR experience. It's definitely not going to be like a location-based VR experience. You're going to want to sit down or you're going to get very dizzy very fast. Let me see. Oh, we got another jump. Okay. Hyper Orange, $5 more. Thank you, Hyper Orange. I think I've said that like 6 times. You're killing it. How does Mascot Mayhem's difficulty compare to Deadly Decadence? Well, I mean, you talking about the new Deadly Decadence or the old one? The old one was a little bit too hard for most people. The new one is a bit more balanced, so I think Mascot Mayhem is harder. Much harder. You guys will find out. I've had a hard time beating it. I'm actually still balancing it, so it's hard. Judah Nator threw in $2. You missed my question. I asked it before the stream. I'm not sure. If you asked it before the stream, then I probably didn't see it. So if you shoot it into the chat, I will answer it. If not, send it to me by email and I'll answer it through the email. Thundernote Entertainment threw in $2. Thank you, Thundernote. Hey, how's your day? The day's going good. And the live stream's awesome so far, so I can't complain. It could be a lot worse. Let me see. Hyper Orange, another 2. Thank you, Hyper. Who will be the next plush after Beerson Malik? Well, actually, we answered that one. I don't know. It's going to be either Agatha, Gold Watcher, or the Murder Monkey. One of those 3. Which one is really up to Makeship? I kind of find out later, once they're done with it. I'm betting on Murder Monkey. That's who I'm putting my money on. I think it's going to be Murder Monkey, but I'm not sure. Alex Could threw in another 29 rubles. Thank you, Alex. That's like donation number 5. I appreciate it. UBF, and that was just a donation. There's no question. UBF 13 threw in $1.99. Will the hospital level have a cafeteria? No. No cafeteria. That is not in their floor plan. It has many other things, but not a cafeteria. Unicat Ninjas. The U.S. stinks right now. Don't come back. I miss the U.S. actually. It's been a little while. I've been in Taiwan for a year. Taiwan is amazing. It's actually so fortunate that I got kind of trapped here when the pandemic hit. It really, to me at least, I feel like Taiwan doesn't really feel that different than living in the U.S. Obviously, everyone speaks Chinese here, and I've had to kind of adapt to that. But other than that, they have a very, there's a very traditional Chinese culture here, but there's also a very Western culture where they love a lot of the same things that Americans love. And Europeans, there's a lot of Europeans here. And it's just, I think the quality of life here is equal to the U.S. So I miss LA. I miss my friends in the U.S. I miss our team members. But, and I will go back, once I get vaccinated and everyone's good to go, or and the world's in a better place, I'll go back. But yeah, for a little while, the U.S. was kind of a little bit behind on things, a little bit disorganized. So I'm glad to see that things are getting back to normal over there. So I hope you guys weren't too affected, all of you in the U.S. I hope it wasn't too bad and that you've been able to ride this out. Alex Could threw in 179 rubles. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Say hello to your Russian fans. Hello, all of our Russian fans. Thank you for your patience. And please continue to be patient with Chapter 4. You guys are super passionate, and I love that about you. But definitely give us a little bit more slack on the Chapter 4. We love you guys. Caleb Evans threw in $2. How can the Joy Joy gang see through the cameras? Well, they're robots. They're all kind of tied into the same neural network. So just kind of think of it that way. Typer Vader's Domain threw in $5. Are there any plans to nerf Sybil and Phantom Malik in Monsters and Mortals? Sybil, I think, has a nerf coming her way. Not a huge one, just a little bit to adjust it and make it a little bit more fair, balanced. So like everything, if we balance a little bit off in the beginning, we'll correct it. I think Sybil's definitely got a correction coming. Malik is not a playable character, so we're not going to correct him. He is a very rare item that does not come into play very often, and he is set exactly as he is meant to be. I know that is frustrating for some people because he's relentless, but that is intentional. Night Gamer threw in 5. Can you say hello, Angel? Does that count, or do I say it separately? Hello, Angel. Andy threw in £2. Thank you, Andy. Will movie-based monsters come to Monsters Immortals like aliens? I think in the past my stance on that has been I want to represent game monsters first. Kind of like Dead by Daylight is entirely focused on cinema. Everything is a cinema monster, like Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Michael Myers, even Pyramid Head, he was in a movie. They're definitely representing, horror movie monsters. I think our job with Monsters and Mortals is to represent game monsters. So we're going to focus on that first. I think there's a lot of those that deserve attention. And then from there, we can kind of look at if there's any movie monsters that would fit in. But I feel like that's kind of Dead by Daylight's territory, and I don't want to kind of make that comparison any stronger than it needs to be. Night Gamer threw in $2. Thank you, Night Gamer. Can you please say hi to my little brother, Angel? I think, was that the previous one too? Oh, yeah. Well, I said it once, and you donated twice, so I'll say it twice. To Night Gamer's little brother, Angel, hello, and I hope you're doing well. Hyper Orange, $5. Thank you, Hyper. Do trigger teddies like to dance to Kissy Kissy by Smile DK? No, they have their own music taste, and you'll hear it in one of the zones. It's interesting. Fernando Miller threw in $2. Thank you, Fernando. When is the Silent Hill limited time be gone? Or I guess he's asking, when is the Silent Hill time limit up? Well, I think technically I'm not allowed to say. It is a limited amount of time. It's not short, but it's not long either. I will definitely give everybody a heads up when that time limit is about to expire. But I think contractually, I am not at liberty to publicly state what the time limit is at this time. I can only state that it is a limited time. So yes, unless Konami renews the license, which does have a time limit, then the Silent Hill DC will be removed from the market once that time limit is up. If they renew it and extend it, then it will stay longer. So I will kind of let people know what's going on. And then, of course, that is entirely determined by how many copies of Silent Hill sell. So if the game does well, chances that Konami will extend it are very strong. If it doesn't sell well, then it'll probably be over after the time limit. But don't worry, it's not going to be leaving the market tomorrow. I can say that much. Or even next week. Victor the Demon Devil threw in £10. Thank you, Victor. I love Dark Deception. I don't really have much time to play Monsters and Mortals, but I love the game. I won't get Silent Hill DLC, though. Sorry. That's okay. You don't have to buy every DLC. Just buy the ones you like. And if you haven't played Monsters and Mortals yet, wait till it's on sale. We had an 80% off sale at one point, so we're definitely going to have one of those again in the future at some point. I can't say when, but some point in 2021. So, if you're looking for a low-risk time to get in, just wait for one of the Steam sales. But thank you for the £10. I appreciate it. Tyler S. Dash threw in $5. Which Chapter 4 track will be the most different in-game? OST from YouTube compared to the in-game looping versions. I think they're all pretty similar. I mean, the YouTube version of each OST track just has kind of a more nuanced and defined beginning and ending. That's really the only difference because it's not looping. So I wouldn't say they're like extremely different to the point of they are like two different tracks. It's really just the beginning and end that change a little bit. It just has that fade in and fade out. So he has to kind of extend it a little bit to make that work. Whereas looping, it's got a loop, so he cuts it shorter. Oscar Moritz threw in $5. Thank you, Oscar. When the Content Creator Pack comes out, will you make a stream playing with them just like you did with Monstrum DLC? Yeah, definitely. So I think when it comes out, I will try to get all four of us to play a round. I know usually Daco and 8-Bit Ryan kind of do their own gaming session with Nathan on Games and somebody else. Is it Luigi Kid? I can't remember. So they'll probably do that, but I'll try to get them into a round with me and Super Horror Bro as well. We'll see how it goes, what works best for everybody. Emily threw in €5. Thank you, Emily. Malik Lumboy, my boyfriend suggested this. Okay, yeah, definitely. I know Makeship actually has Longboy plushies, so maybe at some point I would love to have a Malik Longboy at this on this couch at some point. I figure at some point I'm just gonna be completely like avalanched in plushies on this couch. Like it's just gonna be my head popping out of a pile. Don't judge me. The Gaming Demon threw in £5. Will Hangry be able to break walls as well as doors? He breaks everything. Vanderly 5974X threw in £2. Thank you, Vanderly, for the other contribution. Safe to assume devlogs will return after Chapter 4? No. I've already confirmed a couple times now. Devlogs are probably not coming back. Simply because there weren't enough people that were interested in them, and the ones that were interested in them were just looking for spoilers. So we've had a lot more interest with just the trailers, and that kind of serves the same purpose, is to kind of show some of the gameplay. So we're just going to stick with trailers, and then kind of the additional content we do, like coffee break and gameplay sessions, and we'll come up with new stuff as well. We'll have new content for 2021. The rap videos were one. We'll probably just kind of wing it with some other new stuff just to see if we can try something new and give you guys something cool. Unicat Ninjas. It's pronounced Unicat. Unicat Ninjas. I think I got it, right? Maybe I said it wrong previously. Or Unicat for short. She threw in 2. Thank you again for your multiple contributions. Night Gamer 2. No, Night Gamer threw in $2. Can you say hello to my little brother Angel? I hope you really have a little brother Angel. He better be there. This is the 3rd time, and I appreciate these contributions. And I hope Angel's enjoying the heck out of having me say hello to him. Angel, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Your brother really loves you. He's making multiple contributions to get you a shout out. So I hope you're there and you're happy and you're smiling. Hyper Orange threw in $5. Thank you, Hyper. That's like, I'm losing count. Is that like 10? You're amazing. When a member of the Joy Joy gang spots you, will he scream your location to the others? So does he narc on you and give them your location? Yes, they do. Yeah, they work together. They will definitely let the other Joy Joy gang members know where you are. Kurumi, Tojo Best Waifu. Threw in 2 reals. Thank you very much, Kurumi. Have you played Little Misfortune and Franbo? No, actually I have not. I have not played either one, but I recently picked up Franbo. I think I got it on Steam. So maybe at some point I'll live stream that. It looks really cool. I just got through Sally Face, which was awesome. So I hope Frambo is equally awesome. I know it's got a big fan base that follows it. So I definitely am due to give it a try. But I think next I'm doing Danganronpa Volume 3 and Bindi and the Ink Machine because, shocker, I've never played it. I've seen some videos on it, but I've never actually played Bindi and the Ink Machine. So that's overdue. Scruffy Cat threw in £5. Thank you, Scruffy. I was one of the early donators, and I think you may have skipped my question. Oof moment. Ooh. Well, I feel very bad if I missed your question. I wish you had included it in this donation so I could finally read it, because it's a long way back now, buddy. I can't go back. But you know, if it's a question you really want to have answered, you pitched in, send it to me through email and I'll answer it. So no worries. Come on, YouTube, don't jump. Okay, I'm back. Spring X Blade threw in 5 Canadian. Thank you, Spring X. I have 90 degrees shooting through the roof. Malik says otherwise. Go run before I use no clip to catch you. Malik says nothing, nay. Well, I don't know what I just read, but it sounds interesting. But thank you for the 5 Canadian. Unicat Ninjas threw in another 5. Thank you very much, Unicat, for your multiple contributions. Spoiler for Final Rabbit video. Final Bad Rabbit video. Man, It's 3 a.m. here. You guys got to forgive me for like jumbling these things. My Unicat Ninjas avatar joins at the end and has a face-off with my human lucky avatar. By the way, sorry for the off-topic stuff. Hey, you're making a contribution to us to support us. You can say whatever you want, as long as it's not inappropriate. But that's fine. You're good. Don't sweat it. Um, I assume this is like Friday Night Funkin' or something. So that'd be cool if it's like that, if it's like a rap battle, or if it's dance off or something. 5 nights of games threw in £2. Thank you, 5 nights. Will Monsters and Mortals ever have LN? I guess he means Little Nightmares crossover. Um, Maybe it's possible, but I think not at this time. I think their team is really busy right now, and they're not looking for crossovers. So it's not off the table, but it's definitely a we'll see later type thing. Justin Cruz threw in $1.99. Thank you, Justin. When is Dark Deception coming out? Well, Dark Deception is already out, so is Chapter 2 and 3, so I think you mean Chapter 4. And that is a coming soon response. Just wait for the next teaser trailer, which is coming soon. I will tell you that is coming before the end of March. Demon Xenox threw in $2 Thank you, Demon. Any information on Chapter 4 publishing date? I think you mean release date. So I'm just going to say the same thing I just said previously. Chapter 4 Teaser 2 out before the end of March. Check that out first. Festive Mix 7 threw in $2. Thank you, Festive Mix. Have you changed anything in the first 3 chapters? Yes, we have. We've changed a lot, but you won't see it until Chapter 4 goes out because it's in that update. So we can't update them individually. It would basically put the Chapter 4 content into the game, which then everybody would rip out and see and spoil everything. So the Chapter 3, or 1, 2, and 3 updates will go out with Chapter 4. Emily threw in another €2. Thank you, Emily. Just want to say you guys are great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We do try. Kamaniac Plays threw in $5. Thank you, Kamaniac, for your multiple contributions today. Have you heard of Rusty Lake? Sounds familiar. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are their chances to get into Monsters and Mortals? Rusty Lake. Well, let me take a quick gander at what Rusty Lake is, because I feel like I've heard that, but maybe I didn't. I got my phone out. I'm Googling it right now. I'm going to take a look. Oh, okay. I think I have seen this. Rusty Lake Paradise by Rusty Lake. I'll have to familiarize myself with it. I mean, if it's horror, and if it's a game, then definitely at some point it could pop into Monsters and Mortals if a lot of fans ask for it. That's kind of the 3 points it's got to check. It's got to be a game, it's got to be horror, and it's got to be in demand. Well, 4. It's got to have good characters too, but that one looks interesting. Nope Lol threw in $1. Thank you, Nope Lol. That's just a donation, so I appreciate it. UBF13 threw in 5. It's a multiple from UBF13. Thank you very much. Like the matron, will the Reaper nurse say to take your medicine? Yeah, actually, they all say that. It's like their thing. They love to see people take their medicine. It's their passion. Thingy-majig threw in £5. Thank you, Thingy-majig. Will cameras instantly alert the Joy Joy gang, or will they need to see you for a few seconds like in Monstrum? No, they will instantly alert the Joy Joy gang as to your location. These cameras do not mess around. Alright. Pseudo Art Ista. I butchered that, I'm sorry. PLN10, thank you very much for your contribution. Are out of context pictures straight up from the game? Yes, those are straight up from the game. They may not be the best pictures, Some of them, I think maybe the Joy Joy Gang was a little bit blurry. But that is not the game. That is not the game's fault. That's just my screen capture fault. But yeah, those are all straight screenshots. Whoop, what happened? YouTube. Okay, I'm back. UBF13 threw in another $1.99. Thank you. Will we start outside or inside the hospital level? That remains to be seen. That is definitely a you'll see question. Sorry. Alex Could threw in another 29 rubles as another donation. Thank you very much, Alex. Festive Mix 7 threw in $2. Again, thank you for your multiple contributions. Why was Hangry so hard to program? Just because he has the most complex AI. As you've seen, he breaks through doors, and that is not easy to do. Let's put it that way. The fact that he breaks through many things is not easy to do. Fleet does threw in £5. Thank you, Fleet. Would you ever consider partnering, if that's the term, with a toy company to produce stuff like action figures of Dark Deception characters? Yeah, just kind of throwing back to the first question, we definitely want to work with Funko Pop and U2s at some point. I've seen some really cool kind of figurine companies out of Japan, and I think in Tokyo or Osaka, that do these amazing, like, not full size, but like 13-inch sculptures and figures that are really cool. They do some like smaller ones too. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Gashapon or those little like 2-3-inch collectibles they have in Asia. Those things are really awesome. I'd love to have like a lineup of all those different scale figures at some point. So they're really cool. The little ones are easier to put on your desk, but it's cool to have the bigger Funko Pop ones too. So yeah, I mean, I hope we can work with a lot of them to get as many of those out as we can. I think that'll become a lot more doable after Chapter 4 goes out. Tyler S. Dash threw in another 2. Never forget your catchphrase, you'll see. Hey, I'm wearing it, right? Can't forget it. It's on me all day. Sir 55 threw in another 2. That's multiple for him, so thank you very much. How's Chapter 6 going? Oh, it's done. We're ready to release Chapter 6. I'm just waiting for Chapter 4 and 5 to get done first. You know. Don't want to spoil anything. Blood Violet threw in 2. That's more for Blood Violet. Thank you again. Is hospital day or night? And will Joy Joy Gang go to night? Well, as some of you have seen from the previous teaser trailer, Joy Joy Gang level is kind of daytime in that it's kind of an ambient fog in the theme park. So you could classify that as a daytime. From there, I can't really tell you if it goes to night. That's definitely a you'll see response. Is hospital day or night? I also can't discuss that. I don't even know if you'll even see the exterior. I did say there's an exterior, but I can't guarantee you're going to be able to see like a sky or anything. So that's definitely, unfortunately, yeah, you'll see for those once Chapter 4 comes out. EG Gaming 190 threw in $4.99. Thank you, EG Gaming. Have you seen the videos where people made you sing Fortnite? Yes. And it took me a week to get that song out of my head. So I'm avoiding that Fortnite song like crazy because I finally got it out of my head. I don't know what it is about that song, but it just sticks. Also, there's a glitch in CC where you press Control Q and it makes you collect all shards. Sounds like a debug tool was left in the game. I'll have to test that and see if it actually works, though. Some people may be running Unreal Locker or something like that and kind of pitching that as bugs. We've had people false report bugs to us where they were intentionally using Unreal Locker to create something, and we kind of wasted our time on it. So first I have to verify that that's real. If it's real, then we'll fix it. Unicat Ninjas threw in another 5. Thank you, Unicat. Said, it's Lucky and I are facing off for victory. I will use my powers and aim to get back to the ring barrier on my last life. The winner is up, you'll see. Well, if you can get back to the ring barrier against Lucky, then you're better than me. It is not easy. Scruffy Cat threw in £5. Thank you, Scruffy. Why was Penny the Panda more destroyed than the other Joy Joy members? My question from earlier. Oh, okay. Penny the Panda was always just a concept, so if she was destroyed in the concept, it was more to show the structure of the animatronic underneath. So we didn't need to. I didn't need to really push the damage as much in the final versions. That was more like the design phase, which is why I needed to show more of the exoskeleton underneath because we needed to know what it looked like. We have a version of her where she's completely exposed too. I don't know if anyone's seen that. I think I showed it. Maybe not. Golden Teensy threw in $5. Thank you, Golden. It said, hey, Vince, will there ever be a Dread Ducky skin with a smaller Dread Ducky on its head? That sounds fun. Maybe. Yeah, at some point, once we get through all the DLC, we're going to, we'll probably add a few more skins for the base game characters. But first, we got to get the Chapter 4 stuff in. So that's our first priority, is to update with the Chapter 4 characters, the Chapter 4 levels, and even Crazy Carnival. And then, of course, Dan and his character. Alex Could threw in another 58 rubles. Thank you, Alex. It just keeps it coming. I love it. The Gaming Demon threw in £2. Will Healing Hospitality be a secret room theme? No, it's not a secret room theme. Another donation from Alex Could. 29 more rubles. Thank you, Alex. And that... Oh, we got one more. Spring X Blade threw in 2 Canadian. Little Nightmares 2, what is your favorite enemy? Definitely the teacher. Hands down. That teacher is awesome. So that's it for our super chats. So now we're going to get on to the subscriber questions to kind of wrap it up. And if any other super chats come in, I'll address those afterwards. So let me pop that open and see what we've got. I think we might have gotten some of the questions that we chose in as super chats. So there may be some repeat answers here. Okay, so our first question. Okay, this is not a repeat. It's from Kurt. Will there be something on June 18th? I think he's referring to the Easter egg inside of the Silent Hill DLC that has a Dark Deception portal, and it's Malik's show that's on June 18th. And it just has a lot of curious information on the poster. I can't exactly say if there's anything special on June 18th at this time. You'll see. Could be something, could be nothing. I guess we'll find out later. Shadow Phoenix, question number 2. I think it would be really, really cool to see some Dark Deception fan games in Monsters and Mortals. Is this something you would ever consider doing? Yeah, but I'd have to see something really good pop up and really unique. Kind of like the equivalent of Nixon's The Joy of Creation he did for Five Nights at Freddy's. Or what's like another really unique? Five Nights at Freddy's community has created some really amazing fan games. So I think if we had an equivalent of that in the Dark Deception community, like something that was super creative, use of our characters in the Dark Deception storyline, like they did their own thing and created something really cool that's new, then I would consider that for Monsters and Mortals. So that's why I use the Joy of Creation as an example. If it can kind of hang in the same room with that, then it's definitely worth a consideration. Question number 3 from Jacob L. Will you eventually add the rest of the alphabet letters in Monsters and Mortals? Probably not. No, I think it's set. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, we're sticking with those 7. To do the whole alphabet would be crazy. You wouldn't be able to run anywhere. And the reason we chose A, B, C, D, E, F, G is because it's the opening to the alphabet song, which, everybody learns in school. At least in Western countries, yeah. So it's something everyone can kind of relate to. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, that's why we chose those. Our intention was never to do the entire alphabet. Let me see. Question number 4 from Amir. How many Monsters and Mortals DLCs are you going to release before Chapter 5 of Dark Deception? Well, we don't have a release date for Dark Deception, Chapter 5, except to say that it's coming in 2021. So, I mean, I could read out the whole DLC list for 2021 at this minute that I can confirm, and that would be Evil Nun, Yandere Simulator, The Coma 2. And then there's the DLC that I cannot publicly share yet. That will be shared soon. So, I mean, if Chapter 5 released on the last day of 2021 in December, then all of that would be added to Monsters and Mortals before Chapter 5. Question number 5 from Indie Horror Fan. You already explained how you came into contact with other video game companies for Monsters and Mortals like Team Junkfish and Kaplarian's Games, but what about the Coma? How did your partnership with Devspresso Games come to be? That's actually a really cool question. So the way I came into contact with Devspresso Games was that I was a fan of the Coma. So I kept seeing the Coma on lists of top best indie games. And I'd never heard of the game. So I was like, how can this thing be on all these, top game lists, but there's no talk about it that I'm hearing about it. So I went and checked it out. And I played the second one first. Like I actually jumped into the sequel before I jumped in the first game because they said they were kind of separate from each other. You didn't have to really understand the first game to play the second one. Actually, that's not true. Like the first one, a lot of the storyline from the first game is referenced in the second game, but you can get through it without prior knowledge of that. But the Coma 2 was an amazing game, and I think it's a true indie gem that a lot of people don't know about. But it's one of the best indie games I played as far as like strong storyline and interesting horror. It's a lot of fun, and it's on Switch, it's on PC. So after playing that, and I played the tar out of it, I beat the game really fast. I reached out to them because I thought it was a really special game, and I wanted it to be part of Monsters and Mortals. And they were totally on board with that, so that was really cool. I'm glad it worked out. And that's going to be a really fun DLC. They have some really cool music, too. Question number 6 from Alex Pro. Will Monsters and Mortals have original maps? For example, or I'm sorry, they're only for Monsters and Mortals. So they're exclusive to Monsters and Mortals. Yeah, that was always the intention, was that eventually we were going to develop characters set in the Dark Deception universe, but they were exclusively for Monsters and Mortals as a way for us to test out new characters outside of the Dark Deception 1 storyline. So yeah, at some point after we get the DLC out, I would love to do unique Dark Deception universe characters in maps that are not in Dark Deception 1. I think that would make Monsters and Mortals even cooler as a way for us to expand the universe without altering the storyline and lore in Dark Deception 1. Or even Dark Deception 2. Question number 7 from Typer Vader. Why are you able to hit Red Pyramid thing in the Silent Hill map, yet you can't hit any other boss? Does it do something? Is there a reason? Yeah. So one of the main reasons we did that was just to show you the futility of fighting Red Pyramid thing. We thought it would be kind of fun just to allow players to hit him, but it's pointless. I mean, maybe you get a sense of satisfaction out of hitting him, but it really does nothing to him. He's an unstoppable force. Yeah. So, question number 8 from Zap Mayer. Is Joykill a mindless monster like Doomducky, or an aware being that chooses to be violent? I will say this is Joykill is not mindless. I won't go any further than that, but he's fully aware of his actions. Rye Guy, number 9. Will we be getting official instrumentals of the Joy Joy Gang raps on YouTube? It's possible at some point. I think right now that's not on our task list, but I think after, everything calms down and we have a lot less on our plate, I can go back and kind of add some stuff like that into the channel. Maybe we can challenge fans to do their own rap over the instrumentals and see how it goes. That'd be pretty cool to hear. Question number 10 from Lace Power. Will mannequins be in a disguise? Um, I wouldn't really say a disguise, but you'll see. Once I share the designs of them later on, you'll be able to see what they are. Question number 11 from Marino. Will there be any cutscene interactions between Malik and the monsters? Well, I can't go into details about what are in the cutscenes, but yes, Malik is in some of the cutscenes, and there are a lot of cutscenes in Chapter 4. So you'll see. Question number 12, Windows 98. Will there be an SCP DLC for Dark Deception Monsters Immortals? That is a firm no. And the reason why is because the rights to SCP are a gigantic mess. There are so many parties that claim ownership of SCP. It's a legal nightmare. So there's no way anybody can ever license it because there's no clear owner to license from. It's a community-sourced project, and there's a lot of various groups claiming ownership of it. It was kind of the same deal with Slender Man for a while. And they have that same situation with Friday the 13th, which you saw what happened to the Friday the 13th team with their online game. So yeah, we're steering clear of that mess. 98nd edition, question number 13. Will we ever be able to go behind the door where Malik's eyeball is? Possible. Maybe, maybe not. You'll see. Once whatever chapter that comes into play, and maybe that's chapter 5. Question number 14 from Johnny Games. Will Super Horror Bro Mike Bambridge host every Monsters Immortals DLC showcase? As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he's the host. I mean, if he ever says, you know, he's burnt out or tired of it, then I'll get somebody else to do it. But for now, that's his baby. He is our host for the Monsters Immortals showcase, and that will remain so for as long as Monsters Immortals exists, and he still wants to do it. Question number 15, Caden. For the Common 2 Vicious Sisters DLC for Monsters Immortals, are you putting more characters like Yasol Han, and I'm sorry if I'm saying these wrong, Yongho Choi, the Butcher, Dark Song with a knife, and Vicious Sister? We haven't really worked out which characters are going to be in the DLC. Well, actually, we did. We did. So we have definitely Dark Song is going to be in it with a knife. Or was it? No, I'm sorry. We went with Vicious Sister. So Vicious Sister is going to be the monster. And then we have Mina Park as the mortal. But obviously we've expanded our DLC, so it is possible that we could add in like Young Ho or the maybe Dark Song with a knife. That's something I'll work out with the Espresso games once we get to that DLC. But I think they're all really cool characters, so I don't have a problem having like 3 or 4 characters in that. We'll see how it goes. Question number 16 from Feet. I wonder, were there plans to include a dog room in Silent Sacrifice as an Easter egg? Like as a nod to the dog room ending from Silent Hill 2, or maybe no one has yet to find it yet? No. So unfortunately, we had a very limited number of Easter eggs that we're legally able to do under our licensing agreement, and those were approved by Konami themselves. So some things were off limits, and some things were not off limits. And some things were approved that we cut ourselves. Maybe we'll kind of reveal what some of the cut items were later. But for now, we have about 8 or 10. I think there's about 10 Easter eggs in there that you can find. From what I've watched in the videos, they have not found them all, so I'm really interested to see who can find all 10 Easter eggs in the level. They found probably the easiest ones to find, and I know with Red Pyramid thing chasing you and the other players attacking you, it's kind of hard to stop and find the Easter eggs. But that's the challenge. If you can find all 10 while, you know, having air screamers biting you and Red Pyramid thing stabbing you in the back, you know, you're a pro. That's my challenge to you. Find them all. Question number 17 from Spooky. What will be the next plush to drop after Malik and Beer's campaign is over? Well, for those who don't know, these two guys, Malik and Beers, in all their glory, are in their plushy glory, are on Makeship right now. So that campaign is ongoing for the next 20 days. It started yesterday, and it's already 60% funded, over 60% in one day. So we only need to get like another 40%, and these two plushies are happening. So if you're really interested in that, Malik and Beers, go get them now. They're on makeshift.com. And as with all makeshift plushies, once that time is up, that's it. They're gone. I've had a lot of people begging me to bring back the Ducky. We can't. They're done with. Maybe at some point we'll do another Ducky plushie, but it'll be different. It won't look like this one. So this one is one of a kind. They're all one of a kind. So once they go out, that plushie, that's it. That's the makeshift rule. That's their rule. So get it while you can, because there may not be another one for a long time. But the next one after them will probably be, like I said before, the Murder Monkey, the Gold Watcher, or Agatha. One of those three. I'm betting on the Murder Monkey, but I don't know. It could be Gold Watcher. Let's see. Question number 18 from Nick Fom. Will you ever add achievements in Monsters Immortals? Yeah, that's another one that's kind of on the back burner. It's in the backlist of things to do. But obviously we got to tackle the bigger issues first. Improving the game performance, getting these DLCs done, getting the YouTuber creator stuff in. You know, we have a list that's on there. We definitely want to add achievements at some point. Just like we want to add new skins, but we got to get through the big stuff first. Question number 19 from Charlie. In Barely Buried, will there be a forest zone? As some of you have seen in the no context screenshot and in the previous teaser, there is an outdoor forested area. I can't reveal if that's a zone or not, but it is there. There is a forest. Question number 20 from Jose C. Will there ever be a Dread Ducky skin? Oh, this is the one we got earlier. I think he asked the super chat. Okay. Will there ever be a Dread Ducky skin where he wears a smaller Dread Ducky on his head? Like I said there, it's definitely possible. I mean, that sounds fun. We could probably push that a bit more too and make it even more interesting. We'll see. If we ever get time to do more skins for the base game characters, which I'm sure we will at some point, but it's not going to be in the next 2 months. Galactic Mosquito, number 21. How old are Malik and Beers? Oh, man. Well, Malik is very old, you know. I can't really define him yet before Chapter 4 goes out. Let's just say we're not counting human years here. He transcends humans' lifespan. Beers, technically, she's from the 30s, so she'd be about 70 or 80 years old if you're going by modern time. If you pegged her in 2020, she'd be about 90 years old. Let me see. Number 22 from The Ghost. How long will Silent Hill DLC be available on the Steam Store for? Okay, I don't know if that's a separate question or the same person, but just in case you weren't here when I gave that answer, if you just popped in, the Silent Hill DLC does have a set time length. I'm not allowed to say how long it is. I can only say it's a limited time length at this point, but I will definitely give the community a clear heads up when it's about to expire. It's not short, it's not long, and it's not going to end next week, so you don't have to worry about the immediate near-term expiration. And it is possible that we could extend it if the DLC sells well. That is why I posted in our on the game store page to encourage the community to really support this DLC, because it opens up a lot of doors to the popular DLC, other popular IPs that they've been requesting. Like this Silent Hill DLC really is our community's test for all of these other DLC. So if we want Resident Evil, if we want Little Nightmares, this one has to do well. If this one does well, all of those become possible. If it does badly, then that door closes on those. We'll just have to be happy with indie stuff, which is still cool. I mean, we've got some cool indie stuff. So the Silent Hill DLC is our first AAA. We have another AAA coming in, and a possible third one, but this one really is the test that will open the door to further AAA big titles like Resident Evil and Outlast and stuff like that. So if you guys really want it, support the DLC, and Konami will extend it and we'll have it a lot longer. Let's see. Question number 23 from Pyroshark. Will there be a multi-jump scare like the monkeys in Chapter 4? Kind of. I guess you could kind of say that, something like that with the teddies. But It's a bit different. You'll see when it's out and you can actually play it. So that's it for our subscriber questions. And now I'm going to go back to the super chats and take another look at that and see if we have any more. And that'll put a wrap on this live stream episode. So let me pop that up. Where are we at? Okay, we do have some more. What was the last one we had? Okay, here we go. So we've got Unicat Ninjas threw in another 2. Thank you, Unicat. And she's educating me on her name. It's Ninjas, not Ninjas. Well, it's still cool either way, even if I butcher it. Nope, but you got it. Thank you for the multiple donations this stream. I appreciate it. Luigi threw in $1.99, and that's just a donation, so thank you, Luigi. Actually, I think he made a mistake because he threw in another one that has an actual question. So I think he forgot. So I hope that's not a double charge, but otherwise, thank you very much. $1.99. Imagine if Monsters and Mortals gained more popularity. Yeah. I mean, I hope it does. I hope it keeps growing. It's growing pretty well right now. So I think Silent Hill helps a lot, and some of these other DLC we have coming, like Yandere and Evil Nun, they bring a big fan base with them. So I hope that the game will grow pretty large, and that'll open a lot of doors for us to put cooler and cooler stuff in there. Because I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to build a really cool game that includes all fandoms. So it could have like Five Nights at Freddy's and Bendy and Silent Hill. I mean, Silent Hill's just the beginning. We want to represent all of horror gaming in it, and it's something that all fans can enjoy. And we want to make it as fun as possible. So that's our goal with Monsters and Mortals. As far as the game goes, I mean, it's not really a game we care about the money so much. The game's already doing well and it's profitable. So it's already a win for us on that side. But we want to, our vision is to build it up into this thing that's for the horror gaming community. It's like our version of Smash Brothers or something like that. Where, I guess you could say our Dead by Daylight, that's for everybody. So we'll see if it becomes that. I'm definitely going to put in the work to make it become that. But we'll see how it plays out. But I think I'm already kind of happy with it so far, just after 3 months. I think it's got a lot of room to grow. So we're going to keep improving it. It'll constantly be something we just kind of keep improving in the background. We work on the bigger stuff like Dark Deception and Evil Nun and whatever we work on in the future. So if you bought it, just know that it's going to keep improving. Themscope threw in $2. Thank you very much. Are all pictures from Chapter 4 from Alpha Build or new? Some of those pictures are definitely from the Alpha Build. They're not final because I don't want to give away like too much, but you'll see more final things once we get closer to release and I can update the store. It's not such a big deal to spoil things anymore. Chunk Plonk threw in £2. Thank you, Chunk. 2-hour stream this time, is it? It is. It is a 2-hour stream. I think the longest stream we've ever had was 2.5 hours. So I don't know if it's going to go that long this time. I think we've just got a few more of these to get through. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for the £2, man. Vanderlei threw in £2. Thank you, Vanderlei, for your multiple contributions. Why doesn't Pyramid Head have cockroaches on him? Well, 2 reasons. One, because that was an addition that the movie made. That was never from the games. So that was exclusively created for the Silent Hill 1 movie. And then they reused it in the Silent Hill arcade game. But it was never in Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, you know, the console editions of Silent Hill. And you can go back and play them and see for yourself. So we didn't feel like that was really an authentic part of the Silent Hill lore, that he had these cockroaches with him. The other problem is something like that is very expensive for a multiplayer game where it has to render across, 4 players. If it was a single player Silent Hill game, we could definitely pull something like that off and it wouldn't be too taxing on performance. But when a multiplayer game, yeah, especially when a lot of our fans have a bit of potato PCs, it's just too much. So you do have to sacrifice your visuals a lot for a multiplayer game. There's a lot of things you just can't use. Let's see. Doctor is a doctor. Threw in $1.99. Thank you, Doctor. Have you seen the Dark Deception Five Nights at Freddy's mod progress by Tails608? No, I have not. If he shares it when it's done, I will take a look at it. I definitely prefer to look at things that are complete. So if he finishes it, I will definitely take a look at it. Kurumi threw in another 2 reals. Thank you, Kurumi. Kurumi. I hope I'm saying that right. Have you seen The Walton Files or Harmony in Horror? No, I have not seen either of those. Are those TV shows, games, or movies? Does anybody know? I guess I'll Google it later and check them out. Hopefully they're pretty cool. I think one of the cool things I picked up recently online is the Haunted PlayStation 1 demo disc for 2021 on itch.io. So that is so cool. I mean, if you like the old retro PS1 games, it's got like a ton of them. So I'm going to check those out and kind of play through them at some point. So I'm always on the lookout for cool horror content like that. The Gaming Demon threw in £6. Thank you, Gaming Demon. Which Joy Joy gang member does Lucky owe the most? Penny or Hangry? Well, the thing about Lucky is that he's a psychopath, which means he doesn't really feel true emotion. He only manipulates. So he wouldn't technically ever feel like he owes anybody. He would actually feel the other way around, that everyone owes him because he's so great. They tend to be very narcissistic, and that is definitely one of Lucky's qualities. You'll see when you run into him. He's interesting. Whoa, I got another jump. Unicat Ninjas threw in another 5. Thank you. Will people be so busy trying to beat Chapter 4 that they can't say anything about Chapter 5? No. I'm sure they'll jump right into Chapter 5 like 5 seconds after I release Chapter 4. I can literally count down the Chapter 5 wave of Chapter 5 discussion will begin. Somebody's going to beat Chapter 4 in one day. I don't know how that's possible, but I know somebody awesome who's really skilled is going to just sit down and not get up until they beat it, and it's going to be done in a day, and they're going to be talking about it. It always happens. The Doctor threw in another $1.99. Thank you. Do you know why doors are so complicated to program? Doors are the bane of all indie developers' existence. Just ask Team Junkfish. They know. They equally hate doors. It's not so much the doors that just exist and are there. It's the doors that have to have functionality and accommodate characters and pathing. So if they are also destructible, your nightmare just increased. Let's just put it that way. So Team Junkfish had a similar situation to us with Hangry in that the brute can destroy doors in Monstrum. If you ever get into game development, you'll understand. Doors. Yeah. Just ask Stephanie. Unicat threw in another $5. Thank you, Uni. So yeah, keep an eye out for my banger content soon in Twitter. Might tag you and definitely put in hashtags. I think I'm talking now, lol. I can tell you're pumped for that. Definitely tag me in it and I'll take a look. I hope it is banging. Well, it'll be always up for some awesome fan content. We'll see if you got the moves. Golden Teensy threw in $1.99. Will there ever be mini games in Monsters Immortals? Could be fun. Mini games. I'm not really sure how to incorporate that, but I'm not going to say no. If I see a good example somewhere else that I feel like it could fit in with the game and offer something to our players, Uh, maybe we could do. No, that feels like gambling. I'm not going to do that. I know sometimes they have like that daily spend thing where you have a chance to like win something, like you could win a skin or something. That definitely feels like a casino. I'm not going to do that. But I was like, oh, you could do a mini game where if you beat it, you get a skin each week. Um, we'll see. I'm gonna look at how to and see. It's a little bit complicated on how to incorporate something like that. Doctor threw in $1.99 by Five Nights of or oh F and F. Sorry, I don't know why I said Five Nights at Freddy's. F and F, you meant Friday Night Funkin'. Okay, I got you. I guess I'm so used to seeing FNAF that anytime I see F and F now, it just instantly reads as FNAF to me. I gotta get used to that. There's another F and F out there now. And I actually have not played Friday Night Funkin' yet. I watched 8-Bit Ryan play it, and it looks insane. I was never good at those rhythm games, so I think I would just get destroyed. But I might try it out eventually. I saw somebody, I think it was Tails, was creating a Dark Deception mod for that, where Lucky is kind of the rap battle. So maybe I'll check out that version. Chunk Blanc threw in another £2. Don't mind me just making the stream longer. No, I can't break the record. It's so late. Unicat's helping him out. She threw in another two. She says she's done talking. Okay, now she's done. But she's still contributing, so thank you. I appreciate it. Vanderlee threw in another £5. If you can please try my Dee Gregory Horror Show game. Oh, it's yours. Okay, now I know why you mentioned it. Yeah, just send it my way. I'll check it out. It says, please try it out in your spare time. I'd love to have some feedback. I've tagged on Twitter before, but you didn't see it. Well, yeah, if you tag me, usually I will see it most of the time. But there is always a chance it will get missed. If it's an especially busy day, I get a lot of tags each day. So it can easily get buried in the pile. Don't take it personal. I'm sorry, but it does happen. And it's just going to get worse the more games we release. So you might want to send an email if you really want it to be seen at some point. It might take a little while to get back to you, but it will come up eventually. We'll get to it, and you're more likely to get a response. Whereas if you tag me, it may just get lost forever. EG Gaming 190 threw in $1.99. Remember Crazy Carnival glitch, Control and Q glitch? Okay, I remember. We'll test it out. Don't worry. I don't doubt you. I'm sure it is in there. I know Nixon has forgotten to turn off some of his debugging tools in the past, so good chance it's in there. We'll fix it. Chunk Plunk threw in another £2. By the way, the longest stream was almost 2 hours. What, you telling me we've already broken it? No. Yeah, we're officially at 2 hours and 10 minutes. This is the longest stream ever. Ooh, I'm amazed I am still conscious. I'm running on coffee fumes right now. Unicat threw in another 2. One last thing. I'm no Broadway dancer. Okay, I'm done. Well, you gotta add that to your package then. Go practice your Broadway dancing so you don't say that next time. Gaming Demon threw in £2. What Dark Deception level did you most enjoy playing? Probably I enjoyed. Well, the first time I played it, I would say I enjoyed Deadly Decadence just because I loved the Gold Watcher mechanic. It was fun. So I know some people that's their nightmare, but for me it was fun. I like a challenge. That was the most challenging level to me. So I'll go with that one. I'm not going to include Chapter 4 because it's not technically out yet. So I'm just going to go by Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Riley Nugget, or Really Nugget. Okay, threw in 5 Canadian. Thank you very much. Will the Trigger Teddies crawl or be faster than you? That's a you'll see question. I can't spoil the Trigger Teddies AI yet. So you'll definitely see very soon. But that is it. Yeah, I got to cut it off before any more roll in. No chunk. No more donations. £2. Thank you. But also, that's the end of the stream. No more super chats. I appreciate the heck out of everyone that has donated tonight. You guys are amazing. And Chapter 4 teaser trailer is coming up next. So before the end of March, stay tuned. It will be dropped. It's going to be a premiere. It's not going to go to members first. Big stuff like that, I just put it out. So, thank you all. Enjoy your night, your day, wherever you are. And thanks for tuning into this live stream. April's going to be amazing. And I'm really looking forward to all the stuff we're going to drop in April and May. So, for my time zone, good night. And I'll see you all next time.